Good morning, pals. Welcome back to 100 Miles, 100 Days on a $100 Treadmill. I'm Tanya. That's my fat cat, Jim. We're on day 95, which means we have 5 more miles after today till we get to Disneyland. I can't wait to bring you guys along. So today we're going to talk about Disneyland itself, and we'll walk a mile. I edit that down to about 20 minutes so you have a good workout time. And so let's get it going. Let's take a walk. Okay, pals, you ready for this? Here comes the countdown. Come on, everybody, here we go. And let's ramp it up. Too many things, too many things. Day 95, oh my gosh. Oh man, I am having such a great day. Having a hard time with, wrapping my head around the fact that this is almost over, that I get to go to Disneyland at the end of the week. Like, that seemed like such an amorphous thing that was going to be happening for so long that it's kind of weird to be so close to realizing that goal. And there's a lot of times where I'm so grateful that I had that goal, that I've had this goal to be striving toward. And then, like last week, I was just kind of over doing these videos every day, and I was trying to get motivated every day, and I realized it was kind of the same thing back on day 10, back on day, that second week that I started this whole thing was kind of mirroring itself on the 2 weeks to go other end of it, that I'm like, how am I gonna figure out something to talk about today? And I'm not interested in listening to myself anymore. But just the fact that I knew I just had to keep getting up and keep doing the thing. And I know that that's part of this whole process, is going through those days where I don't necessarily want to do it, and I don't feel like being excited on camera, and that I have to find where that joy lives in myself to get up in the morning and go ahead and do it again. Or if it's that, maybe I don't do that I don't do this first thing in the morning. I wait a little while and get some other things done. And I've got that. I've talked about this so many times, but one of the things I came to realize in these past 2 weeks is with my editing skills, I've gotten confident enough that I can relax while I'm doing other things during the day, rather than oh my God, I don't know how long it's going to take me to edit this. I have to throw everything else out the window because I have to get back home, and I have to spend 5 hours editing a 20-minute video. And that's just not the case anymore. I know that it's going to take me, it still probably takes me 2 hours, because I put a lot of effort into what I'm putting out here for you guys. Even when I'm just doing my little, looking at what Disneyland's doing without us today, and that takes a little bit of extra effort. It takes making a separate video that I'm overlaying onto this one, and yeah, that's not difficult anymore, but it's still time consuming. So I think I've been able to take more joy in the recording process, in the editing process, in just the making of the videos process. I think that I feel like that's really been starting to come through, like on our weekend videos, where I can really see myself now in those weekend videos, and I can see myself in these videos, where before I think I wasn't as relaxed, so I couldn't I just, it takes a while to get to, as we've talked about before, talking to you guys in the camera as though you're there while I'm making this video. And I don't know, the whole thing is just so interesting because I don't have you there to react to me, so I don't know if you're if you're super tired after 95 days of me talking about Disneyland, but oh well, I'm gonna do it again for another 5 days. And yeah, it's those kind of things where I'm not second guessing myself now every time I speak, and I'm not trying to edit out every little and ah and trying to make my videos perfect, because they're never going to be perfect. The part of what I like about watching other people's videos is when they are real and when it's real time and they're not editing out them being silly and them being weird and and all that stuff. And so I've become, I think I have a different eye when I'm watching other people's videos that I enjoy, and how they're editing something, how they're filming something, and I can start to translate that into my own creative process. So that's definitely something that this last 95 days has brought to me, is I now feel like I can go out there and make videos that have a storyline, that have a voice, and that I know when I have the time to put something together for you guys that is maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, that I'll be able to take these skills into a better storytelling line, I guess, because that's one of the other things that I definitely have learned, is that as I enjoy YouTubing. Who knew? And I've always enjoyed telling stories, and so this is a new way for me to be able to tell stories that I didn't know was possible for me. I mean, I knew it was possible. I've been watching YouTube and I've been watching other people do it, so I knew it was a genre and a way to tell stories. I just didn't know that I would enjoy it and that I would start to think in a different way to tell a story through pictures and tell a story through video, with a voice. Like Chris was just telling me the other day how he can see my voice in the videos now, and I was like, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know that I was developing one. But I mean, I guess how could I not, after over 3 months of telling stories every day, how could that not develop? You know, I'll go into more depth on this in other subsequent videos when I'm actually done with the 100 100 100 quest. I'm a fairly self-reflective person to begin with, and it's gonna really be interesting when I've had the time to decompress from this and really look at what I've learned, rather than just kind of going, oh yeah, I think this is what I've learned, but I haven't had time to really think it through, and maybe there's something bigger. I don't know. Who knows? But hey guys, only 5 more days to go, and I've got out my 100th day lounge fly with my ears over here. Got out my 102 day lounge fly with my ears over here. That starts to become an interesting thing, is how to get all your lounge flies on the plane. I can only bring one backpack? What? How do I do that? And we always just do carry-on luggage because we're only going to be there for a couple of days. But then, you know, you've seen my outfits are grand. There's the orange bird behind me with the sweater, which I probably won't need because we're going to take a look at what Anaheim is doing without us today. Because what it's doing is getting really warm. Open up my weather app. It's supposed to be raining all week here in Salem. And I am going to scroll over to Anaheim, where it's 1:43 in the afternoon. We just had daylight savings times over the weekend, so yeah, my body has not caught up with that yet. Anywho, we're gonna scroll down and see that today is gonna be pretty pleasant. Tomorrow's gonna be pretty pleasant. Wednesday is starting to warm up. And then Thursday is supposed to be 95 degrees. Like, what the heck? But then it's gonna cool down again to upper 80s on Sunday. We'll go to that 15-day forecast. So, it's supposed to be 85 on Saturday, 83 on Sunday, 86 on Monday, and 84 on Tuesday. So we are looking at mid-80s. That temperature keeps creeping up. It was supposed to be upper 70s, then it was low 80s, now it's mid-80s. So I'm really glad that even though I have a sweater that goes along with my orange bird outfit, it is like a sundress with like a tank top. Oh man, you'll have to excuse the little scratch in my throat, because as I said over the weekend, it's been getting warmer here, and everything that I'm allergic to, which is the blooming trees, are starting to go, and I have a hard time breathing even inside. So I've taken all my allergy medication. I used my inhaler before I started, even, so that hopefully you won't hear me wheezing too much. I could hear myself wheezing over the weekend on that outside hike. I mean, I did have my inhaler with me. I always forget at this time of year, and then I don't necessarily hear it. I just think, oh, I'm having to work hard while I'm hiking, and I don't realize it's because my lungs are inflamed. So there's that added fun. So if I have a little bit of a gravelly voice, it's because of that. I wanted to talk to you guys about like all those fun little things that well, they're fun for me anyway, all the fun little things that I get to do in preparation, like the week before I go on a vacation. And so one of those things is Chris and I went and got pedicures yesterday. We didn't take any video until afterwards. We were like, oh, that would have been a smart thing to bring you guys along with us for a little bit. But we forgot, so I'll try and get, I know I took a picture, I'll try and get that up and maybe get a picture of our toes. But that's always something that I do right before a vacation. I go and get my pedicure, I get a color and a design that has something to do with like the outfit I'm gonna be wearing. I got blue with some flowers, so very cute. Chris always gets this silver color, he calls them his robot toes. All right, shall we see what Disneyland is doing without us today? It doesn't have very many more days to do things without us, so we better check up on it. And I'm gonna open that Disneyland app. Oh, Disneyland, what are you doing without us? You're doing the Food and Wine Festival, we know. So let's go ahead and click that plus button at the very bottom in the center. We're going to click the Book Lightning Lane at the bottom of that drop-down menu. When it gets to this page where it says My Day and Tipboard is grayed out, we're going to click Tipboard till that turns purple. And I guess we're going to start with DCA today, because that's apparently the last place I looked. That is one thing that this app will do. It'll remember what the last park you looked at was, and it'll open up in that park. So that is very helpful when you are in the parks and you're in DCA, for example, and you don't want to have to keep switching over every time you open your app because it's defaulting to Disneyland. So it will default to the last park that you opened the Tipboard into. You can, if we've not done this before, you can see where attractions and shows is highlighted here. And right below that is view only Lightning Lane attractions. You can switch that on and it'll bring up, if you're trying to just book your Lightning Lanes and you don't want to look at everything that's available, you can click that on. I'm gonna leave that off for right now, but that's just so when you're managing your Lightning Lanes, you can do that. It's a pretty busy Monday. There's a 70-minute wait at Guardians and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think I looked at Guardians at about 11 o'clock this morning, and it was pushed out already to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so that goes pretty fast. Incredicoaster's at 30 minutes. Even Little Mermaid's at 30 minutes. And we're also looking at that, what we've talked about before, where it's that 2 o'clock bubble where everybody's kind of trying to get in a last ride before they go back to their hotels for a nap. It's a warm day down there, so there's probably a lot of little kids who are done with their day. Radiator Springs is at 105 minutes. No, thank you. I would find something else to do. Soaring over California, 85 minutes with no Lightning Lanes available for the rest of the day. Toy Story's at 60 minutes. So people are showing up to DCA today. And we're gonna change parks to Disneyland. And Alice has a 30-minute wait. Big Thunder has a 25-minute wait. Dumbo has a 30, Haunted Mansion has 40, Indiana Jones has 50. Still has some Lightning Lanes available out to 10:15. These are the ones that Indiana Jones and Guardians of the Galaxy are the ones that everybody, you know, you watch any of these people who have tips on how to use Lightning Lane, they always want you to start with these 2 attractions and then modify them out till later in the day. That's what causes this problem with those 2 rides for Lightning Lane. If you literally just waited and booked a Lightning Lane when you wanted to have one, everybody would be able to get one. Because when you're continually dropping your Lightning Lane and picking up one later on in the day, modifying it till later, that's why these sell out. Because it's not necessarily that there are so many people there and so many people want to ride the ride. They just don't want to ride it at the time that they got their first booking. Lightning Lane has created its own monster with those 2 rides. I will get off my soapbox now. Let's go all the way down. Let's see, Peter Pan's at 30 minutes. Space Mountain's at 65, and Rise is at 75. So and Tiana's is at 50, which is not surprising with it being that warm today. But people are showing up to the parks today. I usually have something to cut to, but I don't, so I don't even know how to end this anymore. So we'll come back when we've hit that mile. And there it is, 1 mile. Good job, pals. All right, pals, fantastic job today. We've only got 5 more of those to do. And the last one being in Disneyland. So thanks again for joining me for 100 miles, 100 days on a $100 treadmill. I'm Tanya. That's my moai. These are my ears. This is my backyard. You all know the drill. We'll see you back here again tomorrow, live at 7 o'clock. See you then. Bye, pals. He's starting to be able to, or he really, Crookshanks is being crazy. You can hear him mowing in the background as per his usual.